So I'd like to begin just so that we can make this happen in a beautiful way. Allow this, invite this. And I did this a little minute ago, but I'm gonna start with some Palo Santo and just do a little clearing of the energy for me. And some sound. So let's come into this moment, just a moment of peacefulness and cohesiveness together, imagining those beams of light going around the world, connecting us. Germany, Scotland, Denmark, the US, all across Canada, Italy, the UK, the Ukraine, Australia, other places that I don't know about. Take a breath. Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to say briefly that I am really honored to be the facilitator of this event today and hopefully more events like it in the future. I did my Reiki training in the early 90s, right after I moved to Colorado. And my life was starting over. I'd gotten divorced, I'd turned 40, and I was a single mom of a 3-year-old, and I was moving to a new city, all, like the 4 of the big 5. And when I heard about Reiki, I thought, yeah, that couldn't hurt. But later on, a few years later, I became a cranial sacral therapist, and everything was with my hands, and I knew that energy was moving through me. So I wasn't specifically studying or doing Reiki, but I knew that the energy, the healing energy, wasn't coming from me. I learned about it and learned how it could speak to the person on my table, and that I could even feel it moving through me when I was doing a counseling session with people. And that just, it was a moment of recognition and invitation to be the conduit between heaven and earth, or human and divine, or whatever, however you want to say it. But I didn't specifically focus on it at all since I learned it, except using it in those ways. And about a month ago, I was messaging with a dear friend of mine who you're going to meet in a minute, who we grew up in New England. I grew up in Connecticut, and she grew up in Massachusetts. And we both sort of had that spooky background. She grew up in Salem, and my grandparents were connected with some other events in Massachusetts that weren't very savory. And that's all I'll say about that. But so we had that connection when we first met. And when I first went to Salem, she was a host for Cryon and for me in Salem. And I immediately felt the light that was there instead of the spooky witch stuff. And so we have been connected ever since, however many years ago that was. And it wasn't long ago, a month ago, when she was telling me she was going to be teaching Reiki 1 to some new people, and she hadn't taught it online yet, and we were sort of going over some logistics about that. And then later that night, I was thinking that she is the elder of my tribe, and she's still teaching Reiki. And I thought, okay, if she's still teaching it, that means that people are still doing it and want to know about it. And I really felt this download from the star mothers, the Reiki magicians out there in the universe, whoever they are, um, to do something in a bigger way, to create something in a bigger way with this energy in a community way. Those of you that know me know that that's a big thing for me, unity through community. And I felt that if we combined what we know or what we don't know, combined ourselves together, our personalities, our desires for healing on the planet, that we could be a part of the solution of what's going on in the world. And I know that if you're here, you know what I mean, and you know that we were born to do this. We chose this time to come here, and we chose to step forward and be a part of the change of consciousness in the world. And right now, it's kind of a mess if you if you look at just the regular consciousness. And there's a lot of fear, and the fear colors how we mistrust others, and how there are bad others out there in the world, and that just keeps rippling with whatever happens. And I don't watch the news, but you don't have to watch the news to know. You hear stuff, right? You hear it anyway, or you see it. But we're in a time now where we're really in the possibility of a great divide is manifesting. And that could be one result. But what if the result was that those of us, and I hope there are lots more folks in the world that are doing similar things to this. I think there are. And I hope this Reiki the World grows, and it's not like I don't own it. So if you want to do it, do it. And we keep creating a community that has regular ripples together, because it's exponential. This energy it's not like 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 and 1 is 200 or 2000. It's a quantum leap that we make with our consciousness when we come together. And I know I'm telling you things that you already know, but I'm just so excited about this. And I want to really emphasize that this is the beginning of coming together with this energy that's been around for a very long time, longer than we even can imagine. And that together we are part of the solution. It's easy to be a part of the fear. There are a lot of voices with that, but I'm not going to be that voice. I choose to be this voice. And I'm really glad that you're all here choosing this voice also, and excited. What I'd like to do now is just tell you about what else is going to happen. I'm going to introduce you to Elaine Tavis, who was really the inspiration for this sacred assignment for me, and also my dear brother, one of the kindest people I know, who is a inspiration in my life, a heart math coach, a teacher, a professor, and just a dear brother, Shamir Ladani. And he will lead us in heart math coherence. And then we will set our intention for our Reiki energy going into the world. And we'll hold that intention for 11 minutes. And you can bring that through the palms of your hands in the form of golden light or white light or the words of your intention. Okay, so let's have Elaine. Could my beautiful co-host Mindy or Jenny bring Elaine onto the screen for me, please?
I'm here.
Oh, I know you're here, but I need to see you here with me. There we are. There you are. There, now I can see you. So, Elaine, will you just say a little bit about Reiki? Because I know there are people here that are interested in it, haven't practiced it, and would just like to know more about it and your feelings and take on it.
Well, Reiki is the simplest healing modality that you can imagine. There's nothing complicated. You don't have to be any special world scholar. You just have to have love and good intentions in your heart. You have to be sincere. And the way I teach it, the way I was taught, it's 3 different levels, and it's universal life energy that once you're attuned to the different levels, it comes through you out into the world, the person that you're treating, whatever it is. You can send distance Reiki like we're going to do. You do hands-on, one-to-one, and you can use it to send to past events. If you're going, say, for a job interview, you can send Reiki hours before you go to have everything the way you would like it to be. You set your intention for that interview. It can be used for absolutely anything. Children can learn it. It's just a very simple modality, and I have found that it is the basis to open people up to gifts they never even knew they had.
That's beautiful. I love that. And I remember when I was learning it, my teacher said that when you give a session of Reiki, you get a session. Would you speak to that a little bit?
How could it possibly be flowing through you to go someone else and not affect you and not have you get the benefits of it? And you can never hurt anyone with Reiki. People sometimes like to, like in everything, come up with their little negative stories, but you cannot hurt anyone with Reiki. They just have to be open to receiving it.
So you can't do too much.
No.
Okay.
No.
And what about this is, I know, in other distant healing things. What about having the permission of someone, whether they know it or what if you don't have their permission?
It's best to get their permission. It's more effective, but you can send it. But if they're not open to it, if their guides, their subconscious, whatever, if they're not open to it, it's going to bounce away from them and just go into Gaia.
Okay.
Showing energy.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else about
For those of you that are Reiki practitioners and have been attuned, well, in Yasui, the one that I practice the most, we have symbols, and there's distance symbol. And if you are a Reiki 2 practitioner or higher, I would suggest just before we begin sending that you send out, just visualize your symbols. You don't have to draw them. Just visualize them and send them out.
Beautiful. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
You are my inspiration for this event, and I really appreciate your being here and helping us clarify these things and hold the space for it too. Yeah.
Anyone has questions after, they can always send me a message.
Okay, great.
I'm here to help.
Thank you. Thanks, honey. Thank you. Okay, now can I have Shamir, please? My dear Shamir. Hi, honey. Yeah, did I say enough nice things about you? Should I maybe say some more?
No, don't. You'll be frazzled and crying. But I really
Aw,
appreciate
aw.
feeling is
Shamir and
mutual.
I go way back, even to a time before I didn't know that I knew him. And he's been a teaching partner for me in some of my Star Mother work. And he's also been, a dear friend through the transition of when my beloved Sid passed. And yeah, and he's going to come to Mount Shasta and be with us there when we go in September. So I'm really excited about that too. Um, and I asked him to be with us today because of heart math. And the introduction I had to heart math some years ago was through Greg Braden, but then it kind of looped around to Shamir. And he came down from Alberta. I guess you were living in Calgary when I hosted Howard Martin in Boulder. And Howard Martin is one of the originators of heart math because I wanted to learn it, but I didn't want to go anywhere to do it. I was already traveling a lot. And but Greg was the first one that introduced me to the concept of what happens when we have coherence between our brain and our heart. Because for me, I had a trauma around the word math from high school. It was my Waterloo. Math was, now I can do math in my head, but then it was hard for me to grasp. So I stayed away from heart math until this beautiful revelation that Greg gave me, and then teaching it and learning it from Shamir shifted that completely. So having you here today, Shamir, to lead us through some heart coherence before we start sending Reiki is perfect. So if you would just talk a little bit about how you got to the heart math place and why it really amps up what we're doing, and then we'll do it.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me and honoring me with this opportunity to serve everyone here and the world. My journey in heart math was just it was one of those synergistic things where I was at a Cryon event, and I was, as the sessions were going on by some guest speakers, I just went out, just to kind of get clear my head, and met this person who was a heart math. Uh, you know, she worked at Heart Math Institute. She intrigued me with the science of heart math. I come from the science background, and so the science intrigued me, and I got pulled in. And before I became a coach in heart math and a trainer, I was very much left brain, engineer brain. Everything's got to be logical, and the brain governs the heart kind of mentality. And then I learned that it's actually the other way around, that the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. And then what really intrigued me even more, because I've always considered myself as someone who straddles between spirituality and science. And what I realized that there's a lot more spirituality associated with the concept that I learned from the Heart Math Institute. And these are ancient, this is ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom has been talking about this, but I didn't really connect with it until it came from the perspective of science. And then I realized we are multidimensional human beings. And so one of the aspects, now I'll just kind of intersect with what some of the things Elaine was saying. So thank you, Elaine, for paving the way for some of these concepts. We talk about Reiki. I did my Reiki attunement before I became a heart math coach and trainer. And now I combine the two. So this is just perfect for us here. And I want to share with you the mechanism through which I combine it. And if you are so inspired to do the same thing, you're welcome to do that. Heart math basics, you're born with everything you need to know to build resilience, to actually create a field around you that can transmit energy and or receive energy. And you can actually transmit and receive energy that doesn't serve you, or transmit and receive energy that serves you. The other person, if you transmit energy that doesn't serve you, it doesn't necessarily mean that the other person is going to receive negative energy. All it means is if that person is open to receiving energy that doesn't serve them through negative talk, then they will receive that energy that you emit that doesn't serve you nor them. So the idea about heart math and also about Reiki is you have to have more gratitude in your heart. And having more gratitude in your heart will then create the air of authenticity around us all. And when you actually create the air of authenticity around us, around one person, it's got this cascading effect. And I can show you the science behind it, but if you have a room that you walk into with a lot of love and compassion in your heart and gratitude and appreciation, you can transform the space. And people won't even know that you're doing it. They'll just feel uplifted. So that basically is the effect one can have through practicing a technique that the heart math folks have created. And then when you actually combine that with Reiki, it becomes extremely powerful. And we'll do that. We'll create a state of coherence. So we create a field. I'll invite you to, if you have a symbol that you wish to imbue on the magnetic field that will surround us, because the heart generates a magnetic field that surrounds us, beyond us, and it, as far as your imagination can conceive it. And on that field, you can act whatever emotions you're experiencing are imprinted on that. And if you're feeling appreciation and gratitude, it's coherent. You will see the frequencies are very coherent. The vibration is very high. And if you're feeling frustrated, it'll be very chaotic. So you can feel this vibration when you're actually experiencing gratitude. You'll see the different texture of that. When we do that, there'll be a point where I'll invite you to pick any symbol, whether it's a Reiki symbol or another symbol from your other modalities, and imagine that it's being imprinted on the magnetic field. And then I will open. I will then stop, and then I will allow Meliha to then take that to the next level. Does that sound okay, Meliha?
Perfect. Love it. I was just thinking as you said this, I've known you for a long time, and I have never known that you were a Reiki master until we started this. And I just think that there's something kind of magic about that. Like, wow, okay. Yeah, so thank you. That's a great explanation, and it's been really helpful. When I traveled with Cryon, I started teaching heart math principles because I found that it was so helpful for me to get out of this and into this. So yeah, so thanks for that. Okay, so let's just do that, and we'll begin with you, Shamir, with your bringing us into coherence, and then I'll just say a few words, and then we'll do 11 minutes of music and broadcasting.
Let's pay our attention to our breath and just pay attention to how we're breathing and just allow the breaths to slow down. And as you slow your breaths down, see if you can draw them deeper. So your inhales are a little longer and your exhales are just as long as your inhale. They're symmetrical. Now imagine that these breaths are flowing in and out of your heart very softly, very gently, very symmetrically. If you take 5 seconds to breathe in, take 5 seconds to breathe out. And just stay with this breath cycle. All the while placing your awareness in the area of the heart, that which generates a magnetic field that sets up the field of love, compassion, gratitude, and appreciation for all to access. And begin to experience gratitude. appreciation. Reach into a distant memory or a recent memory and relive the moments where you've experienced gratitude. As you take these breaths in and out and imagine them flowing into your heart and out of your heart, experience gratitude with each inhale and each exhale. It's almost like you're taking all the gratitude in the world and you're breathing it in and you're adding more gratitude to it and you're breathing it out from your heart. And now, with all this love in your heart and the gratitude, create a field of self-love and allow this love to penetrate every cell in your own body. Imagine this love that you're experiencing, this gratitude you're experiencing, reaches the top of your head and to the bottom of your feet. And it just dances around with each cell in your body. And you're filled with nothing but gratitude and love. There is no room for anything else but love and gratitude. And this very present moment, you are with family. You are with family that are present here now, that are not present, maybe listening later, that are no longer physically present with us. They're all in one space and time, in one moment, in this present moment, they're here, joining us, drawing to our light of appreciation and gratitude. And as you fill your whole body with this gratitude and appreciation and the love that comes with that, imagine the expansion of this energetically beyond your body, like it's radiating out in a sphere on all direction, expanding beyond you. And imagine that this is expanding beyond you, beyond your imagination, perhaps enveloping the entire globe. And now take any symbol that you wish. Onsa Je Shonen is a long distance symbol that helps you transcend time and space, that allows you to heal the past, the present, and the future. If that's a symbol that you're familiar with, imbue that symbol and radiate it outward. Chokure, radiate it outward. And any symbol that you want to radiate out beyond you and allow it to expand.
Take a breath in and out of your heart. And how beautiful that feels to connect there and connect to your body from your heart and your field from your heart. And for those of you who are having a new experience here, radiate from your heart whatever feels right for you. And you can also, as we begin our 11 minutes, bring your hands up and radiate that symbol, that feeling, that light from your hands as well. And bring your intention in. You don't have to repeat it or read it, but the energy of your intention, the energy for healing, the energy for love and compassion, the energy for inclusivity of all the beings on this beautiful planet, the energy of love, of healing for the planet, for the oceans, for the air, for the beings, all the beings on the planet. We are in this together. And as we radiate, we can measure the waves that we're sending out as making a difference. That each time we begin to send, we begin to make a change. So gently just close your eyes and use whatever way feels right to you to share that energy of love, compassion with the world. And as we gently, softly come back from our 11 minutes, just take a couple of moments to bring your hands to your heart. Know that your life force, that spark that you were born with, that lives inside of you, that is here to create worlds, you, your world, and more. And that is where we've been playing, broadcasting living in the wave of, and sharing that with our beautiful planet and with each other. Take a breath. When you're ready, open your eyes. Oh, how lovely. Thank you so much, everyone. I just want to say before we say aloha that we have some dates for doing this again. The next one will be in September on the equinox, and we'll be doing that from Mount Shasta. So those of you that are joining us in Mount Shasta, that's where we'll be sending this beautiful Reiki energy from. And of course, we'll have a sign up just like we did now, so you can tune in from wherever in the world that you are, and we will use that beautiful node, that energy of Mount Shasta, to amplify even further what we're sending. Yeah, that should be a great day. And then once again, we will broadcast on 11/11 Reiki energy. So you can look for those dates and, you know, the whole email sign up and all that stuff. And meanwhile, we're looking at a live event in 2025 to bring together practitioners, to bring together vendors, to bring together people who want to be a part of this in a bigger way. And so it'll be summertime-ish, spring, summer of 2025 in this country. And then we're looking at the future and hopefully somewhere in Europe in 26. So we'll see where the energy brings us. It's brought us this far and it's been really exciting. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Also, Mindy and Jenny, my wing women, who are the team that makes this possible. And thank you so much, Elaine, for being the inspiration for this, and Shamir for all that you do to be the wind beneath the wings of so many. Thank you. And thank you all who wrote such beautiful intentions on the Facebook page, Reiki the World, and also in the chat on the Lemurian Sisterhood Global Community. There's no reason to stop doing them just because we've done this. Let's keep those intentions going. So for now, I say thank you. Namaste. Thank you, the energy of the planet, the universe, the star mothers, the galaxy, and beyond. We know that we are here to bring peace, compassion, love, benevolent change to this planet. And we are doing it together. And if that's, for me, is the best it can be. So thank you once again. My big love to you all. And until the next time. Bye for now.